that when you're trying to sell the property?
When you're trying to sell it, well, first of all, I actually tell people if what you have is unlicensed work, and you're talking about the prior owner, you purchase it, you're going to sell it, there's a proportion of it that's unlicensed, or are you talking about when?
Representing a seller who's done work.
Yeah, well, you need to have the hard conversation with your seller about the disclosure obligations. I will tell you, if you're aware of it as an agent, you're responsible for that disclosure as well.
Right.
And I was just telling Linda, we have a case right now with an agent who had represented that it's about $300,000 worth of work, but it represented about $300,000 worth of work had been done by licensed contractors. And there's some other issues too that they represented that some appliances were brand new, and it turns out that they had actually been stolen and then put into this home. The contractor is just an unlicensed guy out of California, and we hired an expert and told our expert, who does a lot of expert witness work, there's this disclosure obligation, were you aware of this? And he said no, looked into it and said, I actually think you're absolutely right, that agent was required to disclose all of the contractors who have been involved in this project, and had to disclose that they were unlicensed because she was aware of it. So we have a claim against the agent right now as a result. So you have to have that discussion with your seller. Particularly when it comes to improvements that expand the building envelope in any way, those are just a killer, because in some instances, we have several cases in the office right now where people have had things that were built in the 1980s, they go to pull a building permit, and somebody walks through and says, okay, we would let you put the pool in, but it turns out that you closed in an Arizona room and nobody ever got a permit for it. Before we'll let you do anything else on this property, you need to get an as-built done, and if you can't satisfy the as-built, you need to come out and have somebody tear out the entirety of those improvements. So that's something that your seller really needs to be aware of.
What about like multifamily, where maybe they have an on-site repair person?
See, on-site repair people, provided what they're doing is sort of one-offs. So, you've got people who are fixing a leaky faucet or something like that. That sort of stuff is fine, or repainting or putting in new carpets. Because it's not contemplated that what they're doing is doing a big project. They're doing individual repairs. That's all handyman stuff. Provided it's under $1,000 and you're not asking them to do actual plumbing work or do actual HVAC work.
What about it, because I see in multifamily maintenance guys that are certified for HV. They're not licensed, but they're certified.
The certification, see, there are gray areas, and actually I know that there's a move away from the certification with respect to certain things, like water heaters. It used to be I could get a certified guy, and I think, although I'm not positive of this, I think they've changed that to require an actual plumbing license, but I'm not positive. The HVAC certification, if what they're doing is that they're maintaining an existing unit, typically they can do that by virtue of the certification. If they're ripping out the unit or developing plans for it, typically they can't do that.
So, any other questions of Chad? He's very good at what he does. He's very educational, and almost all of my clients go to you, I think.
I hope so.
So Chad, thank you very much, and you'll stick around just for a few minutes?
Sure,
please?
yeah, absolutely.
Now we'll shut off the video, guys, sorry. I'll probably